Welcome back to Macho Monday. Nice boy Mitch here with the one and only gentleman Jeffrey. Mr. Jeffrey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I heard there was some kind of issue with your bags getting lost per last week, or luggage was misplaced at the airport. You want to elaborate on that?
You know, you just can't trust the TSA.
TSA. What'd you fly? Did you fly Southwest?
No, actually, it was a private.
Private. Well, you got that much money? I mean, I know you're a gentleman, but like, what are you packing? I mean, you got a little money
Well,
on you?
I got some perks from Rude Boy Mitch.
Yeah, of course, it's probably in the contract. I still have yet to see my contract for the new show. But speaking of shows, we've got a great show for you tonight. As instructed per last week, there is a no holds barred hardcore match tonight between Visions and DJ Hockey per the outburst, the brawl that happened in the parking lot last week. I know, Jeffrey, you weren't here, but there was a massive brawl between Visions and DJ Hockey. And
Tonight,
wait,
it all ends. Visions has
into our
been running
feet?
his mouth for too long, acting like he
Looks like
runs
it.
this scene.
That's that.
I've been
No
patient.
good
I've watched.
games matter.
But patience? That's over. When I hit that stage tonight, I'm not just spinning tracks. I'm spinning the final nail into Vision's legacy.
Good. About time someone shut him down. But remember, Vision's is just a warm-up. Once you handle him, this beef is over and then we shift to phase 2.
Phase 2?
You
What
sure
are you
we're
talking
ready?
about?
We are
I don't know.
GMW more than ready. Vision's was distraction. The real plan, the takeover, that's what matters.
Takeover?
After tonight, no one's gonna see it coming.
Let's
This
get it done.
takeover they're talking about.
That was interesting. How did we even get feet on that, man? I mean, anything can happen here at TWS, but it seems like there's cameras everywhere. I'm almost afraid to even have my own
Ask.
thing. Anywho, what is he talking about? Takeover, plan, phase 2. What the heck does that even mean? I mean, GMW, if don't mind me saying, they're like kind of one of the scums of the earth there. They've got their own little organization there. They're in the across the seas in that United Kingdom era. And I've been attacked by him. Our last 2 commentator teams have been attacked, almost put out of commission by them. And all they've been has just been like a little gnat in TWS since they've been around. But this phase 2, I don't know. I don't understand. What do you think? You got anything?
Well, they talked about a takeover. Um, so I'm assuming it's a second phase in whatever they're planning in this so-called takeover.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know if I see that happening, but seems like they think they got a plan for it. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out.
I have no idea. Whatever it is, it can't be any good at all. Well, let's go ahead and take it down to our first match of the night. I am excited to be here. You can feel the energy in the crowd is just all about it. And we start off with a new debut superstar here,
Ladies
Evil
and
Rican.
gentlemen, making his way to the ring from Arkansas, Evil Rican.
I don't really know too much about this man, but he does look like he's taking his fitness pretty seriously. The man is pretty cut. Doesn't look like he's got the size as most, but he seems like he is ready and no shanties here. Just kind of walking out to the ring.
He seems like he's pretty well put together.
And who we got here coming out? Oh my God, it's the return of Pierce Perch. Pierce Perch has been around in TWS for a long time, and he has always had the
Ladies and gentlemen,
greatest
making his way to
promos,
the
if you
ring,
might not say so.
weighing in at
He definitely knows how to
220 pounds,
tell it like it is, but
Pierce
this man
Perch
has gone through some phases in his career. We've seen him in a dark, twisted phase, but it looks like he's back to hitting the basics and ready here to prove himself in the new era here at TWS.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it's exciting to see a returning superstar back, and wonder what Evil Rican here is thinking, because Pierce Perch is not no pushover competitor for a debut, and your debut match is against Pierce Perch. That's a hard task to follow.
That's a very hard task to just to put it out there.
You know, Jeff, what would be some advice here as a cutter right off the top, starting off fast, but what kind of advice could you give Evil here as far as his debut match?
Well, I think Evil's really gonna have to, try to take out his speed, because it looks like maybe Pierce Perch has gotten a little bit faster since his last go round.
I kind of agree. He's got a little bit more of a different color scheme going on, and he's putting some pretty lethal blows there with the elbow as he goes up off the top again with the coup de grace to the chest. No mercy here by Pierce Perch.
Pierce Perch is really laying into him. He's not giving him really any kind of chance to get in there and
have any
really
offense.
get a whole lot of offense. Yeah.
I agree with you there. I agree with you. You know, they pay you a little extra for that, don't they? You call it like you see it, don't you?
I try to call it like I see it.
Absolutely. This Evil, look at him here. We got a barrage of blows to the chest here. I like this Evil Rican. I like his look. I like the way he's coming off. He looks very clean, his cut. He doesn't look very sloppy, like that Lane's Matter, as some people would call him. He looks clean.
He does. He looks very clean. I did notice that, he was using the, some would say it's Sheamus's move. Some would say it's Short Fuse's move. It's definitely a move that Short Fuse made known in the TWS for sure.
Absolutely. Well, people do acquire other people's crafts in terms of inspiration, so maybe he's taking a little inspiration from Short Fuse himself. I mean, Short Fuse is one of the most dominant professional wrestlers of all time, if not the best in the world.
I heard that is what people call Short Fuse, is the best in the world, also known as the Blueprint.
Later today, I did actually get a chance backstage earlier today, I got a chance backstage to do a one-on-one interview with Oi Oi Frenchie. We will see that later in the show.
Okay. I'm very interested to see what Oi Oi Frenchie had to say.
Yeah, well, last week he cut that promo about how he's looking for a new tag team partner. Do you think Pierce Perch could be the potential candidate?
It's anybody could be the potential candidate.
I mean,
well, maybe even Evil Rican. You never know.
That's not a bad bet here. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe he wants to take someone in and have the Keen to try to help somebody out. I don't know, but Evil Rican here with some blows, elbows. We got a backwards DTS here. I'm not sure what he calls that move. Got a pinfall. Pierce tried to grab the rope.
But he tried. It looked like he tried to grab the rope, but the ref just didn't see it, so he had to use the very forceful kick out.
I see that too. I agree.
This has been a very good back and forth match, though.
Absolutely, I agree. This is a great opener here for the night, setting the setting and the tone for everything.
I would have to say Rude Boy Mitch and his team have put together a very promising start to Macho Monday.
Yeah, and speaking of my no good for nothing brother, apparently we're going to have another announcement by him later tonight, as Pierce has been busted open, looks like, but a misstep here. That could be the the opener that Pierce needs to get back into this thing.
Well, I would have thought so. However, it looks like Pierce Perch was still down even with that mishap, so he didn't really get to capitalize on the mistake.
I'm really liking this debut here of Evil Rican here. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. He's very technical. You know, he's got a couple missteps, so that could be nerves. I mean, with the brand new debut here at a crowd setting, full sold out stadium like this. So, oh, but I really like what I'm seeing. Is we got what's this little crossface, or he's ripping his face off.
You know, I don't know. It's
and Pierce Perch is tapping.
Pierce Perch tapped out with that.
Pierce Perch taps out to Evil Rican.
That is something that I did not think I would see today.
I did not see Pierce Perch losing this match. Wow. Congrats to Evil Rican on a victory.
Very good
here.
start for Evil Rican.
That was absolutely insane. Oh my God. Lots of action just coming right off the bat. I really liked the way that this Evil Rican looked. I think a little bit more training in the gym. You know, we had some missteps here in terms of misjudging his moonsaults and not landing correctly. But I think a couple tweaks here and there, he could potentially be a force to be reckoned with here in TWS.
Very much so. You know, he looked like he had a pretty good repertoire in his move set. So, you know, I guess we'll just have to find out in the future.
Well, that's the way to start off a show here. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more action. Stay tuned.
Days when the breezes don't blow, the dogs don't bark. Days when your tongue feels like the bottom of your shoe, and you can't stand to watch some overpaid actress enjoy the thirst-quenching, tangy citrus taste of squirt while you do all the talking. Lady, give me that squirt. Come on, lady. Give your thirst a squirt.
All right, we are back here live. Macho Monday. Already start off with a great, amazing match, and looks like we're going to hear some words from the women's champion, Mama Pumpkin Pie. A couple weeks ago, gentlemen, Jeffrey, you remember Rude Girl Hart was running her mouth a little bit on how she was about to come out on top and take that championship away from her. So it looks like the champ's got something to say about it.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be interesting what she has to say.
Mom Pumpkin looking as good as ever.
Oh, Rude Girl Hark. You walk around here like you run the place, like you're untouchable, Daddy's little princess, huh?
That's true.
Well, let me tell you something, sweetheart. I ain't your daddy. But tonight, I'm gonna give you the spanking that he should have given you a long time ago.
Whoa.
You wanna step to me? You think you can take my TWS World Championship? This right here? This isn't a toy in your little pink playroom, princess.
Oh my God.
This is blood, sweat, and gold, and it don't come easy. You talk a big game, but there's no way you're walking out of here with this title. You want it? Come and get it. We don't have to wait for the main event. We don't need contracts. We don't need a bell. We can do this right here, right now.
Wow. Whoa,
Well. Look who it is.
Looks like we're getting an
The
answer.
so-called champ. Did I hit a spot in that spine?
Wow.
You call yourself
I
the
did
champ,
not
but
think
in
Mama
my
Pumpkin
eyes,
had
you're
that
just
in her.
another number. In this company,
Look, I'm a fighting champion. I don't need a big event to give you an attitude adjustment.
Oh.
Let's do it right here, right now.
listen, I will get my belt. On my time. Not yours.
Of course. Of course she would say something like that because she's a little brat. God. Of course, she runs around this company like she thinks she owns it. You know. I
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
technically, Daddy does.
Yeah, but come on, like, what about the good, old ways of work hard, stay straight edge, and you get to the top by, honor. What about that? Not this, oh, I'll do it when it's on my time, not yours. I mean, this little sassiness. Do we really need this? Like, no, let's just get it done, get the ref out here, and let them fight now. Like, there's no reason to wait.
I agree. I think maybe she's just stalling, but we don't really know what she's thinking.
But are you saying that Rude Girl Hark is developing mind games with the champ? Is that what you think's going on?
It's a very good possibility.
Hmm. Get paid extra for that kind of thinking?
It's really not that hard to think of.
I see what you did there, and I don't approve. I don't approve.
Well.
Huh. Well, let's go ahead and just go back down to our next match of the night. Already had a barn burner at the beginning for our first bout, and
Ladies
let's
and
bring it in
gentlemen,
for the next one here.
It was a very good start to the show.
the great
I will say
land
that.
of Puerto
And we've got
Rico.
Alm in action.
Oh.
She had a bout last week. Unfortunately, you have not seen it yet, but it was a very good one, and she prevailed in success. So I like this new kind of look for Alm. She looks serious. She looks like she's ready to take the world by storm. And she hasn't had very, very many losses in her career. Only one really that I know of as singles, which was to Rude Girl Hart.
Which was also, coincidentally, her former partner.
That is correct. You do watch the product.
I do.
We got Susie Monster here, former TWS
Ladies
World
and
Heavyweight
gentlemen,
Champion.
from the dark
Coming in.
parts of
She got
California,
brutally attacked by Miss Monkey Tart
Susie
few weeks ago.
Monster.
and I can't imagine she'd be in a good mood tonight.
I can't imagine she would be either.
Let's talk about Miss Monkey Tart here. What is going on with her lately? She has just been fierce and not letting up, and almost seems like she's out to end careers. I'm not. Oh my God! Knee to the face right off the bat.
That was just a devastating knee. Alma's not playing around anymore.
Oh my goodness!
I think maybe Alm has maybe taken a little of what she saw from, or what she's been seeing from Rude Girl Hart, and implementing it in her own game.
That's a good strategy. Another knee to the face. Good God. That's a good outlook there. Yeah, I mean, when you know each other very well, and you end up becoming enemies and breaking apart, you do start taking some craft from the other. But Alm and Susie Monsters, they are not strangers when it comes to competition. They have faced each other in a tag team since. So this is the first meeting in a solo. So I'm very intrigued to see how this outbreak comes with them not having a tag team partner, with Susie Monster's partner being Mama Pumpkin, and it seems like they've kind of taken a break with the tag team division a little bit, with Mama Pumpkin being busy with the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm curious to see how this goes, as we got Alm on the outside, up off the top rope. Gonna fly with the big clothesline.
Massive clothesline.
Right here in front of us here, these girls definitely look mean. Oh my God, back to the head. I think that's another kind of craft by, speaking of his name one more time, Short Fuse.
Yeah, Short Fuse has had a very good run in TWS. He's had some very devastating moves. you know, it's. I'm sure he's okay with, you know, people utilizing moves from his moveset. Um, the originator of the probably one of the most dominating movesets out there.
Very, very, very critical, that's for sure. As Susie Monster looks like she's kind of gained a little control here. Oh my God! Not sure.
Wow.
It looked like a reverse Falcon arrow there to plant Alm. Almost got the 3 count.
Almost uh, like a reverse Death Valley driver into a like you said, a Falcon Arrow esque move.
TWS elbow drop. Everybody knows the TWS elbow drop. One of the most devastating moves from the top rope ever. Seen a lot of people lose to that. Executed perfectly. Everybody's a big fan there, the TWS elbow drop. Another reverse scoop slam.
Some people would almost say a very Randy Macho Man, Randy Savage
Absolutely. Moonsault there from
type
the
move.
middle rope here. These two ladies are definitely going back and forth. What another great match. We got a crossface here, inches away from the rope. Breaks out of
With
it,
the escape.
though. Oh, are we going to see it?
What do we got here?
The Puerto Rican stomp! That's got to be it, right? He says,
she's
get on up. She's not
telling
done.
no,
Super kick. What is Alm going
What is she setting him up
What
for?
is she doing here? She usually ends it with the Puerto Rican stomp.
Oh, she's just pulling her back to the middle.
Wow.
Oh, she took too much time.
I
She
agree
took
with
too
you.
much time.
I agree with you. She took way too much time to close out the deal here.
What is she thinking now? Usually people that throw their opponents to the outside are thinking very ill intentions.
What's this? Oh my God. I think Susie got right back up though. I don't know where this
She got right back up.
came.
Gave her a single leg takedown.
These women are definitely just absolutely putting it all out here. They do know that this is just a regular show match. This isn't a pay-per-view, right?
You know, some competitors, they put it all out there regardless of
Here? What we got going on?
if
What is
it's
she doing? Oh my God! Did you see the height?
a Phoenix Splash.
What in the world?
And Susie Monster still with the kick out.
Good
Still had enough to
God.
kick out. With the kip up.
Another one.
Uh-oh.
The
Here she
Puerto
goes.
Rican stomp. That's gotta be it.
That's gotta be it. Wasting no time this time.
Wow.
And she got it.
Picks up the victory over Susie Monster is on fire. Look at this replay here. This amazing height on that move. Good God. Absolutely crazy. And then we get the one last call here, the Puerto Rican stomp to finish it through.
And she took absolutely no time going for that pin.
Absolutely very hasty on the pin. I couldn't agree.
She learned from her mistake the last time.
Absolutely. Alm is on fire lately. And sometimes when you just get that momentum going, you get in a rhythm. The competitive nature hits you and you start rising more and more to the top. I can't say anything less. She's always been a force to be reckoned with in the tag team division. She lost her footing against Rudiger Hart and a little bit in the solos division, but it looks like she's kind of catching it. Curious, what is next in store for this individual?
You know, I don't know. It's hard to say. You would think that she's got to be in the picture for the women's championship.
Yeah, you'd think so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more action See you soon.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh day. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh day. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here at Macho Monday, and as we said earlier in the show, that I was fortunate enough to get an interview with Oi Oi Frenchie per what he said last week in the ring, talking about searching for a new tag team partner. So let's go ahead and check out that interview. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nice Boy Mitch here, and I have been blessed with the honor of being here with the one and only Frenchie, so we can get an exclusive interview on what he meant per his things he said in the ring last week. Now, Frenchie, there's been a lot of talk about your search for a new tag team partner, but I gotta ask, have you found someone who's loyal and isn't gonna walk out on you like the past event per the Guaca Royale?
Nice boy. You know loyalty is a rare thing in this business. But I'm not about to let that stop me. I've had my fair share of disappointments, you know? Partners who said they were with me only to turn their backs when things got tough.
You've seen it happen more than once, sadly, but what are you looking for now? How are you going to make sure the next person is the one who's gonna stick by you when the going gets tough?
Loyalty isn't just about being there when things are good. It's about having each other's back when it all goes south, when the stakes are high and the pressure is on. I need someone who gets that. Someone who understands what it takes to stand by a partner, no matter what. No more betrayal, no more walking away. I've been burned enough.
Sounds like you're really thinking this through. About how do you find that? How do you find someone who will prove they're loyal?
It's not just about words, Mitch. It's about actions. Trust isn't built in a day, but you can see it when someone shows it through their actions. The way they handle the tough moments. The way they show up every time. So I'm taking my time. I'm looking for the right person who's willing to fight through the storms, not just the sunny days.
Sounds like you've learned some hard lessons along the way, my friend. And with that kind of mentality, I'm sure you'll find the right partner. But until then, is there anyone who comes to mind? Anyone as a potential tag team partner?
I've got my eye on a few talents out there, but it's all about chemistry, Mitch. Not just physical, I'm talking mental. If someone can prove that they're not just in it for themselves, but for the team, then maybe they've got a chance. But I'm not rushing it. I've waited this long, and I can wait a little longer.
I respect that, Fritchie. It's about finding the right fit. Loyalty is hard to come by. And when you find it, it's worth the wait. We'll be watching to see who you pick for your new partner. Thanks for joining me, Frenchie, for this interview, and I appreciate your time.
Anytime, nice boy. When it happens, you'll know. And when it does, we'll be unstoppable. But for now, I stay patient.
There you have it, folks. Frenchie's still on the hunt for the loyal teammate. Someone who's going to stick with him through thick and thin. It's about loyalty, respect, and trust. Keep an eye out on this one. It's the right partner. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So that's the interview I conducted there with Frenchie earlier today. Gentleman Jeff, do you have any thoughts there as far as Frenchie's responses? I think you're muted.
Yes, I was.
Go ahead. I can edit that out. Do you have any
Okay.
responses? I'll ask you again. So do you have any okay, hold on. So that's the interview that I conducted per Frenchie. Do you have anything you want to add as far as his responses, Gentleman Jeff?
Oh yeah, I thought he had some very good answers there. He wasn't too hasty on, picking a partner. He wants to kind of find the right fit. He hasn't had a very good go around with the last few. So, I can see his hesitation on being too hasty on picking a partner.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a very, very intelligent man. If you talk to him, you sit there, man, this man could probably debate the rain, honestly. He's that talented. He's just very intelligent. Sometimes I feel like not so smart when I'm next to him,
Yeah, he is very intelligible. I've heard him speak in interviews before. We've heard him with his promos. Um, he really puts a lot of thought into what he is trying to convey.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on here in the show here. We're going to take it back down to the ring, so we're next action. All right, here we go for our next match of the evening. This is going to be the tag team match to see who goes to the finals for the TWS Tag Team Champion. As we have the Larry J Bros back again. They were a little bit of an interesting tag team per what I seen last week. Not really sure what I thought of them. I don't know. I don't really know what to take from this team. They kind of look like some creepy guys you don't want to run into in an alley.
They're almost like a Wyatt family knockoff.
Yeah, I kind of get the
Not just a knockoff, but like a cheap knockoff.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. They just don't strike a right chord with me. I mean, they're tough and they're brutal, but I don't know. I don't feel like they have the quite stuff to get it done to advance their way into the championship contendency. But you never know. I mean, you never know.
Well, I haven't seen these guys wrestle, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they got.
And they go up against this dominant tag team. Still has never lost in TWS yet. Dark Awesome. They are an absolutely force to be reckoned with. They are the only team that actually beat Chaos Reincarnate. Their only loss is to these guys. And they're mean, they're dark, and God, they're awesome.
Well, it goes to show, what that says about Chaos Reincarnated. To only lose to this team. I mean, these guys, they just look like monsters.
Absolutely, and there's just a good balance. You got your big brute strength, you get your small, crazy, who knows what it is, and it's and here we go. We're starting it off as we got BA Larry here is taking it off. And I'm really amazed here this Ash EXE here. I'm amazed because Ash EXE has this weird amount of strength for such a little stature of a component. I mean, look at this. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's just he's just whipping this bigger guy around.
Yeah, and it's very very thing, but he's very big on the technical side of things. He was working the arm. He likes looking at the working the joints to try to really take you off your game. So you'd think by his look he would be more of like a luchador style, kind of quick and speedy, but he is definitely not that.
Yeah, he definitely gives off the technician vibe.
As
I mean, with his moveset.
Absolutely, I agree. I absolutely agree. As looks like BA Larry here has a well, looks like we were gonna get a little offense here. We got a little bit of a swinging DDT here coming to the outside.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a back and forth here, but for the most part, it's been Dark awesome with the offense.
I agree. Who do this whole tag team tournament that's going on? We've got these two here, and we still have Chaos Reincarnate and the Terror Twins here, last of the left. Who do you like here in out of these 4 teams?
I really liked what I saw from the Terror Twins week 1. I mean, they were just absolutely dominant. I don't really remember, whoever it was that they faced really having any kind of offense. I think it was El Guaca Golga or
yeah, El Guaca Golga. You're right, and Suicide King, the Los Guapos.
Yeah. They just really didn't get much offense in that match. It was how do you call it, a squash match.
I agree. As we got the big guy in now, just barely touches him and he pulls him over. And these Larry J bros here, they're not really too small in stature themselves, but the strength of Brawley here is relentless. But I agree with you. I think the Terror Twins are definitely a good favorite to pick as far as just manhandling their opponent. But from what I've seen of the Terror Twins, they seem like they have a little bit of different agenda, because after their match, there wasn't really any respect there. They were just kind of shoving their opponents out of the ring like they were just like scums of the earth. So do you think that, I mean, their mind is really on the titles? You think that's what their thing is? Ash EXE with some power again.
Honestly, it's hard to tell. We don't really know much about them. We know they're big. We know they're powerful. And it's not like, the team that they faced before in El Guaca Golga and Suicide King. It's not like they were small men.
No.
And they just threw them around like they were, baby dolls.
Absolutely. I agree. As oh my God, Ash EXE there. Looks like Jay made the tag there, but as soon as he got in, just got taken right off his feet. Larry J is nowhere to be found at the moment, as the big man's in here with Badass Larry, and I don't know, looks a little nervous. Oh, little dirty headbutt there to try to keep it going. But yeah, I do agree with you. Them Terror Twins are definitely could give some teams some nightmares there, but I just feel they may have a different agenda.
Yeah, it's a very good possibility. Like I said, we don't know much about them. They could just be out here trying to cause as much destruction and mayhem as possible.
That's a good point. Larry J back in here trying to take it to the big man. Pushes him back. Probably with a massive uppercut. Takes him right off his feet. And we're going to get a little double team action here. This is where the synergy, this is what it's all about. This is why we have the tag team division. As it goes flying high. And I would like to say Brawley did most of the work there, but I don't know. Someone would argue that Ash EXE threw a little oomph in himself. You know, Jeff, you ever thought about getting in the ring yourself? You know, maybe being what you got, or are you too high class for that?
Well, you know, I am a gentleman, and I prefer to watch things rather than to be a part of. So I think I'll just stick to the
Oh my
commentating table.
God. Did you see him pick him up from his head all the way from the ground?
Yes, that was a very powerful move there.
Looks like he was setting him up for some kind of massive choke slam there as Larry J was getting out of it.
Doesn't seem there's like there's a whole lot of offense being put on Brawley. It looks like you know, it looks like he's got a very strong base to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's always been, we got a roll-up pin here. Maybe the Bros are trying to steal it, as looks like Jenkins took a little while to kind of get over there. Brawley gets out to kind of compose himself a little bit, and look at this monster. The power. I couldn't imagine being dropped from height like that.
You know, he had to have had him up in the air about 10 feet or so.
That's a long power. I would love to probably see what would happen here between the Terror Twins and Dark Awesome. That would be a good matchup, but
I think that would be a good match.
But I don't know. I don't know if Larry J Bros, if they pull this off, I guess we'll probably never see it.
Well, you know, it's a good possibility. You know, outside of the tournament, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you have, but have you seen the new TWS tag team belts? I got a slight glimpse of it. Good God, I can't wait till they're on the show.
You know, I haven't seen any of the titles except for, I think, the TWS World Heavyweight title.
And then we saw
maybe the women's as well.
Yep, we saw the women's earlier tonight when Mama Pumpkin came out. But and then we've seen the hardcore sit down title. So I wonder what this, you know, this new Fortune title is gonna look like. I'm curious on that.
You know, I'm pretty excited about this one. I really like the idea that you know, Rude Boy Mitch came up with for that title, and you know, I'm really excited to see how that one goes.
Absolutely, as it looks like for the first time in the whole match, we see Brawley a little dazed here. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he's not quite sure what's going on here. He's getting counted though, so you better hurry up and get out before they get disqualified.
Yep, absolutely. As we got a pinfall here by Ash EXE. Close call. Looks like we don't really see a lot of frustration there by the Dark Awesome, but seeing a little bit there by Ash EXE. Looks like he's ready to end this. Back into the corner here. Double
Could they
team
potentially be
move.
going for a
massive?
No, it doesn't
massive
look
hit
like
to
it.
the stomach. Snake Eyes there in the corner. That's a big drop.
That's a very big drop.
The plan here to keep Larry J in their corner seems to be working pretty well, as Brawley's setting up for something. Oh, looks like Larry got away from it. Not sure, misstep, some kind of punch going on.
You know, I think Brawley sidestepped him there a little bit, just enough to cause the mishap.
Larry J Bro here with a crazy submission, like a half chicken wing into a half Boston crab. Rolls out of it.
Yeah, that didn't take long for Brawley to get out of it, though.
Didn't work very well, did it?
That it sure did not. But it looks like Brawley's going for a big punch here.
Huge punch. Good God. Good
There goes that choke slam again.
Like, he literally threw him against the ropes, grabbed him by the neck, and then re-slammed him. Tagging out here. Larry J looks pretty hurt.
He's looking a little winded.
Oh, we got a roll up here. This could be it. Trying to steal it. Oh, flips it over. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Wow, with the reverse pin.
Reverse pin there for the win. Dark Awesome advances to the finals. Could this be our future TWS World Tag Team Champions?
You know, it very well could be.
These guys have never held a belt in their entire career. They've just been a force to be reckoned with and have never lost. It could be tag team champions time, and I guarantee you that if they get those belts, it could be possible. They're going to have them for a very, very long time. There's only one other team in mind. Yeah, there's only one other team in mind that I feel like that could take them out. So we'll see what happens. General Jeff, what did you think of the Larry J Bros? What are your thoughts on them? I know this is your first time you got to see Emperor missing last week.
You know, I thought they did all right against two just, dominating forces out there. I didn't really foresee them going too far in the tournament, which, obviously they are out now. But I thought they put on a pretty good match. They didn't get dominated like I maybe thought they would have. But yeah, I mean, only the future will tell what's in store for them.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with some more action.
Behold, my most horrifying creation.
Creepy crawlers. Creepy crawlers. Squeeze the colored goop into Wasp Warrior molds or use glow goop and out pops the Wasp Warrior's Bug Brigade. They're the creepiest.
It's the Wasp Warriors in the Bug Brigade. They're out on a creepy crawler raid.
Creepy crawlers from Canada Games. Parents assembly required. Light bulb not included. Bug Brigade, Wasp Warriors, and Plastic Goop each sold separately.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live, and we are going to have an announcement by the CEO, my brother, Rude Boy Mitch. Ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Rude Boy Mitch, your CEO, and hope that you're having a phenomenal time. We already know tonight who you are at Macho Monday. As there was some announcements a couple weeks ago when I made them.
I think that's for maybe some first-time views.
And I know you all are going to be excited about it. First off, wanted to give a little bit more detail on this new championship, the Fortune title. So, the way that it's going to work is the champion will be able to cash this belt in for a chance at the PWS World Heavyweight Champion whenever they choose to. However, there is one stipulation. The Fortune champion must have already defended the title at least 5 times before they can cash it in. He can control things a little better. When I say that this title is going to pave the way for new upcoming professional wrestlers,
to control things, I think.
And I know you all are excited about that.
The person that
the next
is going
thing I'd
for
like
the
to
next
announce
the
is
upper echelon title
it is
or the
that time
world
of the
heavyweight.
season I know you're all
championship
riled up
is
about it,
worthy
wondering
of
when it's
that
about to
championship.
come. And I have a date, and it is announced. Wait, what? May 4th is going to be our biggest granddaddy show of them all. So soon
Taco
already?
Fest.
Taco Fest? Super excited about it, and I cannot
Looks
wait
like it.
to see all the action there. Which also means that Hustle Dice will get her championship match against whoever the winner is between Rude Girl Heart and Mama Pumpkin Pie. And that match is actually going to happen the show before Taco Fest. Wait, the go home show is going to be the championship match? Will get my
What it
PWS
sounded
World
like.
Heavyweight Championship shot against my own protege, Pam Combo. And last but not least, the final announcement. Next week, Macho Monday want to miss the main event. It is going to be a ladder match to decide who our new PWS Women's Tag Team Champions. So excited to see that go down, and I can't wait. So, thank you all for listening and enjoying the show, and more things are on the rise. Interesting. So we're already going to have Taco Fest here coming fairly soon. And now we're going to have the Go Home show is going to be the women's championship match between Rude Girl Hark. Like, isn't that overworking the champion? And of course he had to throw his own name in there with Hustle Dice per the matches at Taco Fest. Like, what is going on here? I think he's a little bit full of himself. I think he's doing way too much, way too soon. He's overworking his talent, and we're going to be in the same position we were before in terms of being out of work for however many months.
You know, I think he's got a good plan going. I think that maybe, maybe he's just trying to give the TWS fans what they've been longing for so long.
Did they put that in that contract? Like, when you signed it, like, you had to be a kiss ass or something? Did they do that?
You know, I get paid a substantial amount to, say whatever's on my mind.
No, yeah, I guess it was the, gentleman side of you, right?
Well,
Whatever. All right, well, let's go ahead and get back down to the action here for our next match. Our next match has been someone who has been putting a little bit of a wave here in TWS.
Ladies
Miss
and gentlemen,
Monkey Tart. She has been
from
at
the
people's
United
throats lately.
Kingdom,
She put Susie Monster
Miss
through a table a couple weeks
Monkey
ago.
Tart.
Got a different attitude. And I know you called it. You said maybe we're seeing a different side of Miss Monkey Tart. Maybe we're seeing a little bit more of aggressive side. And I feel like we've been seeing more and more growth throughout the weeks.
Hey, like a lot of these women that, were, let's say, lackluster for matter of terms, I guess you could say. Maybe they just kind of feel like they needed to change something, and it's good to see that they're doing whatever they got to do to potentially help themselves get to the top.
Well, we have Ghost Girl in action. She was in action last week. She had a rough match against Alm and tried her best, but it's always good to see her. She's
Ladies
a
and
tough
gentlemen,
competitor, and excited to see what she can do tonight.
California, Ghost Girl.
Ghost Girl was in the running in previous seasons of TWS. Possibly going to be a women's world champion one day. She kind of lost her footing a bit, but now she's coming out. Looks like she's got a little bit different, a different look. And let's see what she can do tonight against this very aggressive Miss Monkey Tart.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match, I think.
Oh my God! Just clocks her right off.
Devastating haymaker right off the bat.
Bad. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Ghost Girl looks
almost like a springboard Pele kick.
I agree here. So we've got this new Fortune title. We got a little bit more information about it here. Defending it at least 5 times before you're able to cash it in for a World Heavyweight Champion match. That's nice that we got a little bit more details on this. Ghost Girl here setting up. Drop kick. Looks like we're seeing a little bit less aggression by Miss Monkey Tart tonight. Oh.
Yeah, she's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start tonight, but I think we're about to see things pick up.
Yeah, wrapped up in the corner here. Good God, man, them slaps, them hits. What has she been doing?
I think maybe she's been hitting the gym a little.
Absolutely. Ghost Girl's looking really aggressive, looking really fit. Another drop kick.
To hit on your point of the recent information that we just got on the TWS Fortune title. I think the stipulation for going after the TWS World Heavyweight title is, I think that's a good starting point for that title. Having to get 5 wins in a row. I think that's really gonna showcase, who really wants it.
I mean, General Jeff, when you put it like that, I see your picture where you're getting a big kick there to Ghost Girl in the face. We got a cover. It could be over now. This would be a dominating performance there by Miss Monkey Tart as she kind of turned it around. But I do see your point there in terms of having somebody actually who deserves to be in the title, contention. And I like that idea. And it does bring a workhorse feel in the TWS, to kind of see someone move up through the ranks. But I don't know. I
think it's also going to help prevent any it's going to help prevent any naysayers on did this person really deserve a title shot, or they got handed a title shot because they redeemed some, magical points, or whatever the case. I think maybe Rude Boy was or is trying to redeem himself with his, can we say, failures of I guess last season.
What do you mean failures? He's a walking failure. Have you seen the guy? That's all he ever does is fail.
I won't go that far. I mean, but with the whole title shots.
Here. We got a cover here. It could be over. 3. It's all over. Miss Monkey again on a hot
massive
streak.
Kick to the face. Just an absolute. Just an absolute.
She got that look in her eye again. What's going on? No, just go back to the back. We don't need this again. Come on.
Nope.
Come on.
I think we're gonna get exactly what we got last week
The
or
hell
2
is
weeks
going
ago.
on? Somebody stop this. What the hell? This woman is a loose cannon right now. She just put Susie Monster through a table a couple weeks ago. She just went to some massive chair shots on Ghost Girl. She's a loose cannon. Someone needs to lock her up. There's got to be a fine or something on this.
You know, like I said, she's finding her way.
I don't know. I'm not here for it. I want good, competitive, honorable fights. I don't want this backstabbing. Bitchy Bex would be so proud right now. It's so annoying that Bitchy Bex isn't here, but I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, unfortunately, Bitchy Bex is also kind of having the same issue with, not getting her luggage in set and trying to get things ready. So that's the reason why she is not here tonight. I apologize there to the fans. I know you all are wanting to see her, but she is not here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our last commercial break of the night, and we will be back for the main event. Don't turn your channel, folks. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Eating that barbecue from up the street? Where to give you more sauce than to give you meat? Well, bring your big ass down to Bruh's Barbecue, 15837 South Crenshaw Boulevard. That's right off Manchester. Bruh's Barbecue tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. Don't it, Willie?
Yeah, boy. Hey, mama.
What the hell you want, Willie?
We are back here live for the main event. We have the no holds barred match here with Vision coming out. He looks definitely a lot slimmer than he used to, man. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's, I hope he's not doing what Cheeto used to do back in the day, being on Skid Row and whatnot.
Daddy Big
Yeah, it looks like maybe he's also gotten off of the Guadalajara supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's no longer calling himself the Guadalajara supplement machine either.
I'm not quite sure, but he looks like he looks thinner. That's for sure. That's a little concerning. I think maybe we might have to get him a little help. I'm talking something that rhymes with happy.
I think he looks good. I think this is a good look for him. He's not as poochy or puffy as he was last season. It looks like he's really taken his workouts seriously, and maybe he's come off of it a little bit.
This man right here is probably the king of the hardcore division. Anybody that has been wanting a fight or a match with this man in his domain is probably suicide, you might say, as DJ Hockey comes out. And these two, again, had a brutal brawl last week in the parking lot. They're looking here to settle the score. There's been a lot of history here with Chaos Reincarnate, Visions, and GMW. They had the infamous War Games match where, unfortunately, GMW did take out TEWS that night. It was very disappointing, but Visions is not one to let things go. So,
you make a very fair point there. Visions is very loyal to TWS and Rude Boy Mitch.
What do you mean loyal to Rude Boy Mitch? I mean, this is the same man that was stealing money from his promo back when we had that company that has gone out of business. He was having it siphoned into his own secret account. I mean, the man was the #1 blogger of all time. I mean, come on, loyal. What is your definition of loyal, Mr. Gentleman Jeff? Please enlighten me.
Well, I mean, loyal as in when it came to maybe not financially loyal, however, loyal to, um, protecting the brand and, you know,
Well, I mean,
just,
the man's out of his damn mind. He thinks he runs TWS, man.
well,
He thinks he owns it. And he's probably trying to steal it out from underneath Rude Boy Mitch himself. Could you imagine working for a man like him?
I mean, I don't think we'd have very good shows, but it might be a little off the wall sometimes. But
Yeah,
hey,
we'd probably have crazy intergender matches. Catherine would probably be the men's world champion. Like, who knows what could happen if this man was in charge?
well, I mean, it would definitely be a very different TWS. That's for sure.
As these two here, DJ Hockey's going for the first score, grabs that kendo stick, but a massive clothesline by Visions. To the outside, Visions busted open. The one thing I'm more concerned about is we seen earlier in the show, DJ Hockey and Lames Matter. Sorry, I'm gonna be formal here. Games Matter was talking backstage about some potential takeover, and this beef here between Visions and DJ Hockey seems to be more just between these two and not as a company as a whole, which we got a massive backstabber, backbreaker from Visions, but it seems like this was more personal than planned in whatever their phase 2 plan is. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah,
Visions
this is
showing off what he thinks.
This is definitely a personal matter for Visions. But at the same time, he is out there representing TWS. And you can hear it from the crowd. They're saying fight forever.
Yeah, they're loving it. We got the back and forth there as Visions tried to bring in the shovel as these two are really putting it all out there.
Yeah, they're really going back and forth right now. Looks like DJ Hockey didn't want to continue that, as maybe the hands from Visions were a little much for him.
Well, it's funny you'd say something about loyalty as they both swing the objects at each other and DJ Hockey gets the upper hand. But back to what we were saying, we're talking about loyalty here. Do you think that Visions could potentially be the partner that Oi Frenchie might be looking for? Like,
you never know. I think Visions is more of a single superstar and not a tag team superstar, but you never know. He could be.
DJ Hockey looks like he's got Visions right where he wants it. Visions looks like he's a little bit in trouble right now.
Looks like he's a little groggy there in the corner, but you can't ever count Visions out because you never know what supplements he may or may not have stuffed in his pockets.
Moonsault by Visions. Look at the athleticism by this man.
Looked like he was going to go for a weapon shot, but he decided against it.
Backstabber from the middle rope here. We got a cover. Well, during their brawl there in the parking lot, the kendo stick was definitely a very versatile weapon. I know Vision would probably love to end it with a good whack from that.
I've heard Visions likes a good whacking.
Yeah, I could probably agree with that. I mean, I've never really had a good whack in myself, but I'm sure that Visions probably enjoys a little whacking here and there.
What's he setting up for here?
What is going on? When did
Looks like
Visions
he's
become so versatile in terms of technical wrestling? This is not normally his speed.
He's usually a little more hardcore orientated, but
Kendo stick, and he's covered, and that could be it. And it's all over. Visions finally puts DJ Hockey to rest. This man is absolutely brutally insane, and who knows what's ever going through his thoughts.
yeah, it's hard to tell what's going through that man's head.
Well, you want to sum up, break up the night? Do you have a match of the night that you liked here, Gentleman Jeff? Because I tell you what, probably I want to say the all match was probably the match of the night for me, but
That was a very good match. I also liked the start of the show. I thought the very first match was a very good show as well. And the first match would probably have to be my match of the night.
oh, I think you're starting to come in a liking to Mr. Evil Rican, even though he debuted. You liked him a lot, didn't you?
I thought he put on a very good match tonight.
I thought so too. Well, that is it here for Macho Monday. We will see you all next week. Same time, same place. This is Gentleman Jeffrey, and I'm Nice Boy Mitch. We'll see you later.